Well, and welcome, beloveds, to the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. MumbiSeraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well. Yeah, in all your ways, and that you are moving into living life truly on your own terms. We really want to thank everyone that supports us on our Patreon and our PayPal accounts so that we can bring you all the news that's happening from around Africa. And we just don't pick random stories, because there's so much that happens in each and every country. But we pick the stories that point to the awakening, the restoration, and the reunification of our people, because as we've been saying since we started this channel, there's a massive awakening of our people going on across the world as we come into who we are, as we come into our inheritance, and our inheritance is spiritual power. Those are the stories that we need to cover so that they continue to boost us to move forward. And like this particular story I want to talk about today, actually, I didn't even know this had been happening for like the last 5 years. I was like, whoa. So apparently Namibia and Germany have actually been in negotiations for the last 5 years, since 2015, looking at ways that Germany can, apologize and pay reparations for the first ever genocide of the 19th century. I think that's what they're calling it, or the 20th century. I don't know, happened in the 1900s, but this happened way before what happened to the Jews in Germany, before the Holocaust. So they say the very first Holocaust actually happened in Namibia. And the Namibian government has actually rejected Germany's reparation offer for genocide. Now, the offer, this is just embarrassing. They said the offer of compensation for colonial era mass killings needs to be revised. You know what? You want to know how much Germany offered? I mean, it's insulting. It's insulting for a €1 trillion economy. They offered 10 million euros. First of all, how can you even put an amount to that? And they don't want to call it reparations. And that's another argument, that they apparently, when they were signing the deal with the Jews, they didn't want to call it reparations, but they called it doing good and, other words. But the Namibian government was like, oh, hell no. The president was like, it's actually almost insulting. And he objected to the terminology used in Berlin. So the president, he goes by the name of Hag Geingob. On Tuesday, he turned down Germany's offer of 10 million euros or $11.7 million. Can you imagine? Add a couple zeros to that. Hello? This is not what we're talking about in reparations. It's not like a tip for killing our ancestors. These people are mad. And he said, the current offer for reparations made by the German government remains an outstanding issue and is not acceptable to the Namibian government. This is what he said in a statement. And he said, he added that the government's special envoy, Zed Gaviru, I don't know how you pronounce it, would continue to negotiate for a revised offer. Gainbob also took exception to Germany's use of the term healing the wounds. I swear. These languages are languages of spells. Why won't they just admit that they committed genocide on the Namibian people? They also refuse to use the word reparations, as I said, with the Jews. But like the president was like, oh, hell no. Healing the wounds in place of the word reparations, saying the terminology would be debated further. This is something that, the Namibian government is not allowing. You see, healing the wounds, so you don't take full responsibility of what you did. And there's not been any kind of apology so far. The two countries began negotiating, and as I said, in 2015, and it would see Germany give an official apology and development aid as compensation for the killing of tens of thousands of indigenous Herero and Nama people by German occupiers between 1904 and 1908, before they went back to Germany and took out their own people. In June, President Gabo suggested that that Germany would offer an unresolved apology. However, Berlin is still yet to do so, despite acknowledging that its colonial authorities perpetrated the atrocities And Germany has repeatedly refused to pay direct reparations, claiming that they have spent millions of euros, in development aid to Namibia so far. And the numbers are not small. We're not talking of 5, 10,000, or 20,000 people. Historians actually say that 65 to 80,000 Herero people were taken out, and 10 to 20,000 Nama people were killed in the first genocide of the 20th century. And it is widely accepted as the first genocide. I mean, it's widely accepted. It's referred to as the first genocide of the 20th century. Now, Germany actually ruled the Namibian colony from 1884 to 1915, and then Namibia then came under South African rule for 75 years before they gained independence in 1990. So still a very young country. And they released a statement on Facebook, and they talked about all the different, you can check, Namibian presidency, and they go on and on and on about how the president of the Republic of whatever, of Namibia, Dr. GENOC, had been briefed on what was happening, and the Special Political Cabinet Committee on Genocide, Apology, and Reparations was still going on. But how dare Germany offer 10 million euros? Are you freaking kidding me? Am I the only one who's like, are you crazy? I was thinking like $1 trillion minimum. I mean, you can't even put a price on bodies, on our ancestors, but $1 trillion minimum. Let me know what you think in the comments. What kind of figure would you put out there, if there is a figure? And let's not forget, money's collapsing. So I mean, you're almost negotiating, paper that will be null and void. But let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time, tuko pamoja. Hello and welcome to Africa Watch on the Dr. Mumbi Show. How you guys doing? How's everything going? How's your family? I hope all is just absolutely fantastic and well. This is a good week. This was an awesome week because so many good things are happening. By the way, thanks to every single person who has subscribed to the channel. If you haven't, go ahead. Thanks for sharing the videos with your friends and family. And liking the videos, commenting. There's so much all of us learn from the comments and the feedback that we get. I also want to thank everybody who sends me information about what's happening in their countries, because sometimes we miss a few things, and it's just amazing. Continue to send me the information that you think would be relevant to our audiences. A lot of people have reached out to me about what's happening in Sudan. I will be talking about that. A lot of people have reached out to me about even deeper stuff about what's happening in the Democratic Republic of Congo. I will be getting into that. Our Caribbean brothers and sisters have been emailing me about talking about China in the Caribbean, especially in Jamaica. I will get to that. I'm just so excited when I receive that information, and I'm just trying to put it into biteable bits so that we can share. Thanks to every single person who donates to the channel. That really helps us to do our shows almost daily, because that's really, there's so much happening on the continent and around the African nation, so we're really trying to do it daily. So thanks to all you guys. You're awesome. Exciting news, guys. So now, and this was sent to me by one of our subscribers, Namibia is also starting the land reappropriation process. Yes, yes, yes. Which basically means Namibia is going to start giving the land back to black people. Yes. And Namibia, which is a neighbor of South Africa, for all of you whose geography is a bit, don't worry, no judgment here. Namibia, a neighbor of South Africa, looks like it's, caught the bug of land reappropriation without compensation. And this is absolutely amazing. And I don't know if you guys, remember, I told you guys, the amazing thing about Africa is when one nation does something, it kind of gives the other nations the courage to do the same. Or, we have a copycat syndrome. And in this sense, it's awesome. And that's why you saw when one nation gained independence, within a decade, decade, nearly all of Africa, like 95% of African nations had gained independence. And so there's that thing, which is why earlier this week when I talked about Sierra Leone, canceling the Chinese loan, I was super excited because that shows that, now other guys get ideas. And this is what's happening in Namibia. Now, there's been a countrywide land expropriation talks. They've been ongoing for about a month or two. And this is the first time since independence of the South African nation that this conversation is actually happening, and it actually looks like it will, bear fruit.